What if Iran and the United States go to war, and Tehran believes it can win? Tonight, Iran's battle plan is no longer speculation. From missile barrages to cyber warfare, from proxy armies to choking the world's oil lifeline, Iran has laid out a roadmap for confrontation with the world's most powerful military. This is how Tehran plans to fight Washington and force America to back down. Tensions between Iran and the United States are once again nearing a breaking point. Diplomatic talks were close to collapse before both sides agreed to meet in Oman. But US President Donald Trump has issued fresh warnings, saying Iran's supreme leader should be very worried. Behind the scenes, Iranian strategists are preparing for a scenario they say is inevitable: war. Iran's scenario begins with a massive US assault. American air and missile strikes would target nuclear facilities, military installations, and IRGC bases. Most of these sites are located near densely populated areas. The Pentagon would rely on aircraft carriers, strategic bombers, stealth jets, and precision-guided munitions. Advanced electronic warfare and hypersonic weapons would aim to overwhelm Iran's air defenses. Washington believes technology will deliver a swift, decisive blow. But Iran does not believe the war ends there. Tehran says it has hardened and dispersed key assets, building underground missile cities and redundant command centers. The goal is not to stop the attack, but to survive it. Within hours, Iran would launch massive missile and drone barrages at US bases across the Middle East. Targets include Qatar's Al Udeid Air Base, facilities in Kuwait and the UAE, and US positions in Syria and Iraq. Iran plans to overwhelm missile defenses through sheer volume. Iran's strategy expands the battlefield far beyond its borders. Tehran sees itself not as an isolated nation, but as the center of a resistance network. Hezbollah in Lebanon could strike Israel. Houthi rebels in Yemen would intensify attacks on Red Sea shipping. Iraqi militias aligned with Iran could target US troops and diplomatic missions. The aim is simple: stretch American forces across multiple fronts at once. Missiles are only part of the plan. Iran would launch cyber attacks against transportation networks, energy systems, financial institutions, and military communications. The objective is disruption, chaos, and pressure on US allies hosting American forces. But Washington is ready. US Cyber Command has spent years preparing for this fight and possesses far greater offensive capabilities. A cyber war would cut both ways. Iran's most powerful leverage may be geography. The Strait of Hormuz, just 24 miles wide, carries over 20% of the world's oil. Tehran has repeatedly threatened to close it. Mining the waters, attacking tankers, and swarming warships could send oil prices soaring beyond $200 a barrel. The economic shock would ripple across the globe. Iran knows it cannot defeat America outright. Its strategy is endurance, making war too expensive to continue. By spreading conflict, choking energy supplies, and inflicting steady pressure, Tehran hopes Washington will choose negotiation over escalation. But war is unpredictable. What Iran sees as calculated pressure could trigger overwhelming retaliation. And that is why this plan exists, with the quiet hope it is never used.
Iran has sounded a chilling threat to the United States ahead of the diplomatic talks in Oman. Iran Revolutionary Guards Corps spokesperson Amir Akhramenia has warned that American military bases in the region within easy reach. The IRGC spokesperson said Trump had to choose between compromise and war. Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei's senior advisor Ali Akbar Velayati said that Iran was fully prepared to stand against any external threat. Velayati said, Iran, as the main pillar of the resistance, with no intention of aggression towards others, is fully prepared to stand against any threat and foreign enemy, especially the United States and Israel. Tensions between Iran and the U.S. have escalated after Khamenei's crackdown on anti-regime protesters killed thousands and saw tens of thousands detained by authorities. Trump has said that the Iranian leadership is negotiating with U.S. officials.
On Iran, are the negotiations still happening this week?
Yeah.
Where will they be? And what do you need to hear from Iran?
They're all over, but they are negotiating. They'd like to do something, and we'll see if something is going to be done. They had a chance to do something a while ago, and it didn't work out, and we did Midnight Hammer. I don't think they want that happening again, but they would like to negotiate. We are negotiating with them right now, yes.
Mr. President.
Where will the meeting be? It seems like
I
it's
can't tell
changing.
you that.
Mr. President, what
There's more than one meeting.
Trump has kept up pressure on Iran, suggesting America could attack Iran over the killing of peaceful demonstrators or if Tehran launches mass executions over the protests.
And on Iran, sir, can you say what your threshold for military action is?
Well, I can't tell you what I'm going to do because right now, we have a tremendous force going there, just like we did in Venezuela, even bigger. And they'll be there soon, and I'd like to see a deal negotiated. I don't know that that's going to happen, but I mean, if I knew, I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't tell you. I'd be very foolish if I would tell you. But right now, we're talking to them. We're talking to Iran, and if we could work something out, that'd be great. And if we can't, probably bad things would happen.
When Iran erupted in protests and riots, Donald Trump promised help is on its way to the Iranian dissenters. The US military even positioned a massive naval armada within striking distance of Tehran's coast. But as Trump's envoy Steve Witkoff is set to meet Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi on Friday, US analysts have warned that Trump may face a credibility test if threats are not followed by action. Trump has drawn a red line by threatening action against Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, whose regime is accused of killing thousands of protesters in recent weeks. Iran accused foreign powers, including the US and Israel, of instigating the violence and arming rioters. Analysts say Trump's red line echoes Barack Obama's 2013 warning to Syria over its use of chemical weapons. The Democrat president chose diplomacy over military strikes, a decision critics claim weakened America's credibility and emboldened Washington's adversaries. Trump's envoys will meet Iranian officials to press for an end to Tehran's nuclear enrichment program, curbs on ballistic missiles, and a halt to support for proxy groups like Hamas and Hezbollah. Amid diplomatic efforts, tensions on the ground continue. Earlier this week, the US Central Command said that American forces shot down an Iranian drone as it aggressively approached the USS Abraham Lincoln while the aircraft carrier was operating in international waters in the Arabian Sea. Rich Goldberg, a former Trump National Security Council official, told Fox News that President's past statements of policy would force one to bet on the likelihood that military action is coming. The White House has said that Trump remained committed to always pursuing diplomacy first, but has a range of options on the table.
Given the recent news and what just happened, how much does this escalate tensions ahead of these critical talks that are happening with Witkoff?
Well, look, I just spoke with Special Envoy Witkoff, and these talks, as of right now, are still scheduled. President Trump is always wanting to pursue diplomacy first, but obviously it takes two to tango. You need a willing partner to achieve diplomacy, and that's something that Special Envoy Witkoff is intent on exploring and discussing. As always, though, of course, the president has a range of options on the table with respect to Iran as commander-in-chief. I think they learned that quite well last year with the strike in Operation Midnight Hammer, which was wildly successful and obliterated their nuclear capabilities. But those talks will continue later this week as far as we're concerned right now.
But Iran continues to flex its military muscle even as diplomatic efforts continue.